Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have here another 10 pens currently inked for this week. I think let's go through these briefly one by one. We'll go through them in a little bit more detail and then we'll do a writing sample. So from left to right we have an Onoto, and this is the Sterling Silver Platinum Jubilee. We have the Onoto Sterling Silver, and this is the Coronation. We have a Taccia Miyabi Winter's Breath, a Taccia Miyabi Empress Winter's Breath. We have a Mr. Cypress Eggshell Raden. We have another Mr. Cypress Eggshell Raden. We have a TWICO Seishu Dragon in green, a TWICO Seishu Dragon in red. We have a Mr. Cypress Maple Leaf, and we have an Onoto Magna Classic Christmas Carol. So I think let's go through these in a little bit more detail. So this is a beautiful pen. I've had it inked up before. I did clean it out, and I've actually taken the plungers out and I've put cartridge converters in. These are actually writing really nicely. So you can swap out the plunger with a cartridge converter if an Onoto comes with a plunger filler. So this is a sterling silver pen. You can see there it has the Queen's Platinum Jubilee plaque there as a coin finial on the cap. You've got gold trims here. You've got this beautiful pattern here. And then you can see there around the gold as well. Cap band. It's a beautiful pen. It's a weighty pen, but it's a pen that I really do like the weight of. So I did mention that I have put a cartridge converter in here now. There's a little bit of ink there around the tip of that section, so I'm just going to wipe that off. It will probably come back because I suspect I've got a little bit of ink in the cap there. The nib is a number 7 size Onoto nib, and I got this with a medium nib. It's got an ABS plastic feed. You can see the size of my hand there. The cap will post. It won't post very securely, but you can see that I do have a bit of ink there in that cap, so I will probably have to just clean that out a little bit. But this is a very weighty pen. I do like it a lot. So I'm glad that I was able to add that to my collection. That was in June this year that I added that to my collection. And I also picked up this one at the same time, and this is the Onoto Sterling Silver, and this is the Coronation pen for the King. And you can see there the finial or cap finial or coin there as well. Again, gold trim. It has this lovely engraving going on there throughout that cap. Absolutely stunning. And likewise, the body of the pen here, really beautiful. Again, it's sterling silver, so it's a heavy pen, just like the Platinum Jubilee. Has a number 7 size Onoto medium nib. Now, my Onoto Magna Classic and the Magna Carta, the Rosetta Stone, and the British Museum Great Court are all fine nibs, but I decided I would go with a medium nib on this. I have medium nibs on other Onoto on the chased versions, and I really do like it. So as much as I like the fine nibs, I decided I would go for medium. Worst case scenario, if later on I didn't like it, I could always swap it out. But again, you can post the cap on here if you want. It's going to be very back weighted. And again, this is a cartridge converter. Well, it was a plunger filler, but I put a cartridge converter in there. The plungers do pull out. They're a little tight, but they do pull out. So I have got that inked up this week as well. The next pen I have is the Taccia Miyabi Winter's Breath, which was a birthday pen for me that I bought in end of January for my birthday, which was in February in 2021. So it's a couple of years old now, but I like it. I like it a lot, and I got this from Brian at Chatterley Luxuries. Beautiful, beautiful Varden and eggshell there. These are quail's eggs on this pen. Taccia claimingly use quail's eggs. And you can see there it has a number 6 size Taccia nib. These nibs are actually made by Sailor for Taccia, and it has a converter there, a Sailor converter as well. This is quite a girthy pen. It really is quite girthy. You can post the cap on the Taccia Miyabi Winter's Breath. It won't post deeply, but you can post it if you want. It's got an ABS plastic feed there as well. It's a spring-loaded clutch mechanism, so you have to push it in and twist at the same time. A lot of people don't get on with those. I didn't to start with, but I've got used to it now. The next pen inked up here is the Taccia Miyabi Empress Winter's Breath, and this is a more girthier version of the standard Winter's Breath. Also has this Urushi clip with eggshell on it as well. And you'll see that this really is a stunning pen, just a beautiful pen. I really, really do like both of these pens a lot. It is girthier, the section's a lot more girthier and a little bit shorter there as well. But it has a number 8 size Sailor King of Pen nib made for Taccia. It's an 18 karat gold, it's not a 21 karat gold nib, but you'll see there it does have the what would be the Sailor King of Pen sort of section there. So it is a more of a thicker section pen, but it's a pen that I like. You can post the cap there. Again, it's not going to post that securely. Typically, I wouldn't post any Urushi, Maki-e, Varden pens. The Urushi should be pretty strong to withstand that, but I still don't like micro scratches on pens. And a lot of people do ask me questions from time to time. How do I keep my pens in such a pristine condition? How do I clean them? And honestly, I just use a standard soft microfiber cloth. And I won't spray it with anything. I won't use any cleaner. I will flush the nibs out when I finish writing with them and put them back into storage. But other than that, I just wipe the pen down with a microfiber cloth. And I want to say give it a polish, but it's not really a polish. I guess you're polishing the pen, but you're not polishing a layer off or anything. You're just cleaning it. So that's how I clean my pens, just in case you wondered. The next pen here is a Mr. Cypress pen, and if you're not aware, Mr. Cypress are in Taiwan, and they do some really good Maki-e Urushi pens, Varden pens, and this is an eggshell Varden, which I picked up. Absolutely stunning. I fell in love with this when I saw it. You have the eggshells on the cap finial and also on the blind cap. None of the Mr. Cypress are pistons or power vacs. They're simply cartridge converters. You can buy them with steel nibs if you want. I upgraded to an 18 karat gold nib. I had the option of a Bock or a Yovo nib. I decided I'd go with a Mr. Cypress nib, which was slightly cheaper. But you also notice that this section has a lot of Varden sparkle in it. The nib that has an ABS plastic feed, but has a cartridge converter which is pretty low. So I'm going to be re-inking this. I might actually try to use a different ink. You're not going to be able to post the caps on these. They're not designed to do so. It doesn't bother me in any way. To be honest, I don't post my caps that often. So for me, that's it's not an issue. The threads line up every single time, and also it's got a seamless sort of step down there between the cap and the body. So that's what I really like about this pen, that they've gone into thinking about that. It will mean, though, that the step down from the body to the section is a little bit more severe. And I know some people don't like that. It doesn't bother me, though. The next pen here was another Mr. Cypress Eggshell Varden. A little bit more of a subtle one. So you do have the eggshell here and also here on the other end. And then it just basically just starts to break away into what I would like to call the black abyss. But you then have this lovely sort of set of stripes of Varden, of abalone shell there on the cap and also the body. And if I unscrew the cap, you'll see a number 6 size Mr. Cypress nib. It's a 14 karat gold nib. Again, the sparkle here on the section, little bits of Varden or abalone there. As I said, the step down is a little bit pronounced, but it doesn't bother me in any way. It's actually a really, really good size for me. You can't post the cap. It is a cartridge converter there. You could probably eyedropper these if you wanted to. I personally wouldn't, but you could do if that was something that you really wanted to do to get a larger capacity. But I do like this pen. It's a beautiful, beautiful Varden Maki Urushi pen. And I have to say that it wasn't my first choice, but after ordering this one, and I was in love with this one quite a lot because of how the abalone really sparkles. I saw this one about a week later, and I decided I would just have to buy it as well. The next pen inked up is this one, and this is the TWICO Seishu Dragon in green. So this is made, or was made for TWICO, Twist and Coates, who are the 2 of the 3 main organisers for the UK London Pen Show. And they formed a company called TWICO, and hence why it's called TWICO. Seishu is the artisan, and I think that's the only thing that I would like to know is who the artisans are on the Mr. Cypress pen, because they have various Mr. Cypress Urushi Maki artisans, and I'd like to know who makes each one, because I'd may like to seek them out to see what other pens they've done for Mr. Cypress. But this one here is a TWICO Seishu, so made by Seishu for TWICO. Beautiful dragon. It's a very raised texture. You can feel it here on this Maki. And then you've got some lovely abalone shell there for the eyes, so they sparkle there. Beautiful pen. Bought at the London Pen Show in March this year. This has a 14 karat gold Yovo nib on it. It's a cartridge converter pen. Slight step down because it is a seamless cap there, but the threads always line up as well. So that's another good point, is that I know a lot of people will complain over time about caps not lining up to bodies, having to put it on 1, 2, 3 times before the pattern lines up. And I get that. I really do. I have a number of pens like that, and it does sometimes irritate me a little bit. You get used to it after a while, how to line the pattern up. This pen here is the TWICO Seishu Dragon in red, so very similar to the green. You've got the abalone shell there in the eyes of the dragon. Beautiful work of art here by Seishu. Really, really do like it. Beautiful fireball there. Stunning pen. I just had to pick up the red and the green. And it's got a number 6 size 14 karat gold Yovo nib there. It's a cartridge converter. And I'd have to say, for me, I'm really glad that there were only 2 colours of this dragon. Because if there was a one in blue and if there was a one in purple, I would have had to have walked away with all 4. So I'm pretty glad that I only walked away with 2, because there was only a red and a green. But I know if it was in other colours as well, certainly blue or purple, I would have bought those as well, or I would have found a way of buying them or reserving them and buying them later, because that to me, it was just a no-brainer. If I was going to get one, I had to get the other. But that was only because there were two. If there were four there, then I probably would have been in even more trouble. The next pen here is a Mr. Cypress, and this is a maple leaf. And I always like maple leaves. I like autumn, where you see these kind of leaves, brown, beautiful red or brown hues falling to the ground, or even in trees. So this was one I just had to pick up. Beautiful, beautiful work of art. It's not only are the leaves textured, the gold textured, but even the black as well. Now there are some specks there that you can see of like gold, or I want to say it's like Radon glitter, but abalone, because it does kind of change color slightly. Beautiful, beautiful work of art, but it is very textured. So if you like a smooth pen, maybe this isn't for you. But it does have a lovely section there in a bronzish gold sort of color there, with a 14 karat gold nib, Mr. Cypress nib. It is a cartridge converter pen, and you're not going to post that cap, mostly because it is a seamless transition between the cap and the body there. But these Mr. Cypress pens are actually pretty good price in comparison. Like if you were to look at if I took this one, for instance, and I looked at the comparison with the cheaper version of the Winter's Breath, there's no, the quality is almost identical, but the price is hugely more on the Taccia than it is on the Mr. Cypress. Now that may change over time. I'm sure it probably will, when Mr. Cypress work out that maybe they can charge more for their pens. These are light pens, whereas the Taccias are a little bit more heavier, a little bit more girthy. But you can see in terms of length, they are pretty close. So for me, that is a really nice pen. And I almost say that these Mr. Cypress are very similar to the TWICO Seishus in terms of the body of that pen, and in terms of the length as well. Maybe the TWICO's Seishus are slightly more wider, but that is, other than that, I'd say it's almost identical. And then the last pen here is an Onoto. It's a Magna Classic. It's a Cult Pens exclusive. I think it was the 2022 version of Christmas Carol. Now, Cult Pens was selling this on the summer sale this year, and they had one with an 18 karat gold nib, which is ideally what I wanted, or they had the steel nib version, and the steel nib version was about 200 less than the gold nib version, and I figured, well, I could add a gold nib to this for 180 and still get it cheaper. So I went for the steel nib version, and to be honest, I'm actually liking this. It's a beautiful pen. It certainly is quite Christmassy. I like the gold sort of inscription there. It really is quite nice. It's slightly textured, not massively though. But you can feel it there if you run your fingers over it. You can see, and I hadn't actually realized this, there was only 10 of these made. Wow. I hadn't actually realized that. So I've actually got number 9 of 10. So this was a very limited edition run. So very glad that I managed to pick that one up. Wow, that is insane. So it's got a number 7 still Onoto nib, not the gold nib, but you can see there I've got a glitter ink inked up. It's a very lightweight version of the Onoto Magna Classic. It's not got a brass insert into the body or the barrel there. So if you like light pens, this will work. You can also post the cap, and it's going to work as well. And that posting that cap, I have to say, that makes the pen look even nicer. Really is a beautiful pen. So very glad that I managed to purchase this in the sale, and even more so now that I realise that there's only 10 of these. Like, that is just insane. So very glad I picked that one up. And there's another one that I've got my eye on, which hopefully will be arriving sort of somewhat soon. So that will be another interesting one as well. Similar theme, not quite though, but we'll see. So that's my currently inked 10 pens for this week. I think let's now go and do a writing sample. So the first pen here is the Onoto, and this is the sterling silver, and it's the platinum Jubilee. So we'll do an ink swatch here, and I'm just going to wipe the section off because there's a bit of ink there around the section, so that I don't actually, I've already got a little bit of ink on me already, so it probably wouldn't matter now anyway, but I'm gonna just wipe that section a little bit. So this we'll do an ink swatch here. Now the medium Onoto nibs are super fire hose wet. So this is the Onoto, and it's the platinum Jubilee. So it's the Queen's Jubilee, which was last year in 2021. It's a medium, and it's an 18 karat gold number 7 nib. It's actually a Bock nib. And then the ink in here is Diamine Majestic Purple. And I've left this ink in here, keep inking it up, purely because the Queen Platinum Jubilee, there was a lot of everything around that was in purple in colour. So I actually figured that having a purple coloured ink, I don't think purple was the Queen's favourite colour, but certainly last year it was all purple, and there have been other sort of dresses that she wore that were purple as well. So I just figured that this would actually be a good ink pairing, and very glad that I have, because it is a very nice colour. The next pen inked up is the Onoto Coronation pen. So we'll do an ink swatch here as well, and just notice a little bit of ink around that section as well. So I'm just going to clean that off. So we've got an ink swatch here. Now, I started with this pen initially putting in, I think it was Diamine Majestic Blue. This is the Onoto, and it's the Coronation, and it's a medium, and it's an 18 karat gold Bock nib. And then the ink in here is, I changed it to KWZ Hawaii Blue, which was a exclusive ink for Onoto, and a friend gave me a bottle of that. I think it was sort of 3/4 full, and I'm just using that bottle up. I think I'd like to put a lighter blue in here, perhaps more of a like a Pelican Edelstein Topaz, or more turquoisey coloured ink, but at the moment I'm just using this ink. The next pen inked up is the Taccia Miyabi, and this is the Winter's Breath. So we'll do an ink swatch, and this does actually have Pelican Edelstein Topaz in it. So this is what that would look like if I inked that pen up in the Onoto. So this is the Taccia Miyabi Winter's Breath. And it's actually, yeah, this is a broad. I was just thinking, was that one a broad? No, it's definitely a medium. This is the broad. So it's a broad, and it's an 18 karat gold nib by Sailor, number 6 size nib. And then the ink in here, as I said, is Pelican Edelstein Topaz. But that, it is a really nice colour ink. It's just one I keep gravitating back to it's a beautiful ink, beautiful color. I do like turquoise inks. I don't know why. I think it's because I'm not a great fan of dark blue inks, and I'm not a fan of black inks, but a turquoise coloured, bluish coloured ink I do like. The next pen inked up is the Taccia Miyabi Empress Winter's Breath. And I really wanted to ink this up early on with Pelikan Edelstein Topaz, but I thought I can't really ink both of the Winter Breaths up. So I decided I had to choose a different colour. Would it be purple? Would it be green? And this one has a lot of green in it, so I decided to go for green. So this is the Taccia Miyabi Empress Winter's Breath. And it's a medium, not a broad, and it's an 18 karat gold Sailor King of Pen number 8 size nib. And the ink in here is, thinking about this, Diamine Ultra Green. Now, I could have probably inked up with various other colours. I'm not sure that I could have brought myself to put a red in there, because there's really not any red in the abalone shell, but I think green looks nice. The next pen is a Mr. Cypress Eggshell Varden, and there's a lot of purple in this, so I on this one actually I didn't ink up with purple, strangely enough, but I kind of wanted to, but I put another green in here, or I guess almost a tealy turquoise colour, and I think I might change this. It is a dry writing ink, so this is the Mr. Cypress Eggshell Varden. It's a medium, and it's an 18 karat gold nib. Now, I would say that the Mr. Cypress nibs are not that bouncy. Like, you could get a little bit of line variation out of it, but you're not going to get a lot. The ink in here is Pelikan Edelstein, and it's Appetite, which is a nice ink, but I just find it a little bit on the dry side. There is a lot of purple in that pen, in the Varden strips, so I might start thinking about putting a purple in there. Although the next pen here, I do have a purple in it, so or a violet in it. So this is again another Mr. Cypress Eggshell Varden. I kind of want to call this the mountain pen, because of the way those Varden strips are quite like mountains. So here's an ink swatch. And I've actually changed the ink in here. I was just trying to think. So this is a Mr. Cypress, and it's an eggshell Varden. But you can see how much wider this is. They're both medium nibs, but this is a 14 karat gold nib. And just to show you, they're about the same line width or variation. So this one I've actually put in Pelikan. Actually, it's not Pelikan. Sorry, it's Pilot Iroshizuku Aji Sei, which is a very nice coloured ink. I think I did put Diamond Violet in there last week, and then I changed it to Aji Sei. I got more ink bottles of Aji Sei, so I decided I would use that up. The next pen is the TWICO Seishu Dragon in green. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this is a 14 karat gold Yovo nib. It's my only gold Yovo nibs. It writes very nice. I'd say it's slightly over polished, so a little bit more susceptible to hand grease. And it is summer. It is hot. Also rainy, but hot. So the humidity is high. So this is, and you can see there, TWICO, Seishu, Dragon in green. And it's a medium, and it's a 14 karat gold Yovo nib. And then again, similar line variation. So the Mr. Cypress nibs have got about the same in terms of 14 karat gold as the Yovo nibs. And then the ink in here is KWZ grass green. But that is a nice colour, and I've been thinking about maybe changing the ink in that pen to a different green, but I just can't think of a green that I'd like to see more in it. The next pen is a TWICO Seishu Dragon in red. And this one I'm definitely not going to change the ink in because I like this red a lot. I thought maybe I might put Diamond Meadow in the green dragon one, but I don't know. It would be maybe a little bit too light, maybe. So this is, again, the TWICO Seishu Dragon, but in red. It's a medium, and it's a 14 karat gold nib. And then you can see there, again, line variation. And then this is KWZ, and it's Thief's red. But that is a very nice sort of fiery red, and it's just one that I think matches to that pen colour beautifully. The next pen here is the Mr. Cypress Maple Leaf, and this is a Urushi, and it is Makie. And I also want to really say it's probably Rawdon as well. So Rawdon is really more the technique of layering. Typically it's more around abalone shell, but there is some sparkles in this pen, so I'm not sure if it is abalone or not. But this is the Mr. Cypress Maple Leaf, and this is a medium, and it's a 14 karat gold nib there, and just double checking actually, I think, yeah, no, I did get it right. I was just thinking that one of them were an 18 karat, but I did list it correctly. So again, line variation there, and this is Herban, Ambre, de Bermanie. And I'm still thinking of putting maybe the Vinter Cult Pens exclusive whiskey gold in this pen, because I think that would make it look even nicer. Talking of that, that's inked up in this pen, which is the Onoto Magna Classic Christmas Carol. So we'll do an ink swatch, and I think I'm more happy because this is a broad nib. I think putting in a medium nib is probably not going to flow as well, especially as it's got glitter in it. So this is the Onoto Magna Classic, and it's the Christmas Carol, and it's a broad, and it's a steel nib, and that would be a Yovo steel nib, not box steel nib. And then the ink in here is Vinter Cult Pens exclusive, and it's whiskey gold. But I only bought one bottle, and I think it's like a 30 milliliter bottle, and I'm using it quite a bit, and unfortunately, because I only bought one bottle, it's sold out, and I still Cult Pens have not got it back in yet. So I'm hoping they will get some more bottles in which case I'm probably going to buy a few more of these bottles. So I think let's take a look at these pens inked up one more time. We have an Onoto Platinum Jubilee in sterling silver with a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Diamond Majestic Purple. We've got an Onoto Coronation in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with KWZ Hawaii Blue. We have a Taccia Miyabi Winter's Breath in a broad 18 karat gold nib inked up with Pelican Edelstein Topaz. We have a Taccia Miyabi Empress Winter's Breath in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Diamond Ultra Green. We have a Mr. Cypress Eggshell Raden in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Pelican Edelstein Appetite. We have a Mr. Cypress Eggshell Raden in a medium 14 karat gold nib inked up with Pilot Roshizuku Aji Sei. We have a TWICO Seishu Dragon in green in a medium 14 karat gold nib inked up with KWZ Grass Green. We have a TWICO Seishu Dragon in red in a medium 14 karat gold nib inked up with KWZ Thief's Red. We have a Mr. Cypress Maple Leaf in a medium 14 karat gold nib inked up with Herban Amber de Burmanie. And then last but not least, we have an Onoto Magna Classic Christmas Carol in a broad steel nib inked up with Vinter Colt Pens Whiskey Gold. So there you have it. That's my currently inked pens for this week. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye-bye.